festive season. And as Tadato Kimura, the marketing head of Sony India, says, since this Diwali comes at the back of a bumper monsoon, the sales too are expected to be bumper.
Yes, so for Sony India, this festive season is very important because we see that the consumer sentiments are very strong and they tend to spend a lot of money during this festive season. As compared to last year, we are growing more than 50%, and we are expecting the same level of growth during this festive season.
And good monsoons have indeed played an important role in dispersing the apprehensions casted by the financial turmoil in the last couple of years. If IIP numbers are anything to go by, then the Indian economy is on its way to reach the 9% growth mark. And auto sales figures have been making new records with every passing month. And the Sensex too is on the verge of creating a new high. And as Manish Sharma, the head of marketing of Panasonic India, puts it, all this, coupled with the feel-good factor of the festive season, has put a smile on the Indian consumer.
This time, because of the monsoons happening, definitely there will be a growth in economy also being witnessed, and definitely the growth will come out of Tier 2 and Tier 3 markets.
Arvind Singhal too shares the same view.
The sentiment remains very, very positive in this festive season as we get into that. So to that extent, I think we should see a much better sales performance from October onwards compared to last year.
Perhaps the biggest example of this has been the small town India. The consumer from the Tier 2 and 3 city has been shopping like never before. According to a report by Ernst & Young, consumerism in the smaller cities has touched new highs. The consumer in the small town knows what he wants and is willing to spend that extra buck to get it. And in Kishore Bhatija's words, the small town consumer has come of age.
As a country where, the earlier thought process was that consumption was a vice, we are now moving to economy where we want to say consumption is a virtue, because the kind of drivers that it has of, to the economy. People who are not exposed to brands, once getting exposed to brand, understand the value and are wanting to, appreciating the difference and are willing to pay that price.
Perhaps that's why this festive season, every brand is lining up to pander the consumer living in the smaller cities. They are not only targeting him differently, but also bringing out new products to cater to his taste.
We have introduced two very strong models in the small-sized LCDs so that we give a chance to the Tier 2, Tier 3 consumers to upgrade from a CRT television to a LCD television, because that is what they aspire to. And we feel, these 24-inch especially can be a good size to upgrade from a CRT to a LCD.
There is no doubt that the great Indian shopper is chugging along at a rapid pace. But despite this frenzy that you see around you, things around are in a state of transition. The huge shopping bills and bags that you've become so used to seeing during this period might soon become history. What's the full story? Find out after this short break. Festivals in India are synonymous with shopping. It's the time to buy new clothes and lay your hands on your dream car or that latest gadget you've been thinking about. Add to that the numerous discounts and schemes that are on offer. And it makes the perfect atmosphere to satisfy your urge to splurge. But for Naina Sawant, an HR manager with a financial services firm, this buying spree is not restricted to the festive season alone.
Size is okay for Mama?
And she's just one of the hundreds and thousands like her across the country. Over the years, affluence and exposure have meant that consumer spending patterns have changed rapidly. And Manish Sharma, the head of marketing at Panasonic India, feels the same.
Sometime back, 4 or 5 years back, the Diwali festival season contributed to a major part of yearly sales. And I hope it continues for the time to come also. But yes, definitely there's a change in trend observed. It is becoming little more flat these days, and various other festivals have come up, like 15th of August, which is the Independence Day, also has become some festival these days. So various brands promote or come out with a short-term consumer offers during these dates. So little bit of trend change has been observed these days.
There is a lot of truth to what Sharma is saying. The IPL and the Football World Cup earlier this year saw a massive upsurge in the sales of television sets. And with the Cricket World Cup around the corner, most consumer durable companies are projecting a 20% increase in sales. Even national holidays like the 15th of August, 26th of January have become major shopping fests, with a lot of retailers organizing shopping carnivals. So is the emergence of newer shopping fests the only reason behind the change, or is there a deeper socio-economic reason? Arvind Singhal, the CEO of Technopark Advisors, has a probable answer.
10, 20, 30 years ago, there were 2-3 reasons why festive season used to make a huge impact. One was weddings themselves used to be staggered only into just 2 or 3 or 4 broad time buckets. Second thing, there was this notion of bonuses being released by manufacturing and other companies. Today when you look into there, first of all, wedding season itself is now spread out almost around the year. The second part is that the impact of bonuses per se is very, very limited now. More and more people are actually spending around the year, as opposed to waiting for a bonus to be disbursed and then they will start spending.
But that's not all. There is another major reason behind the shopping frenzy that you see whenever you step into the mall. And B.S. Nagesh, the man behind one of the oldest retail outlets in the country, Shopper Stop, says it's got a lot to do with the extra cash in the wallets today.
What the wealth has done to different members of the family. The aspirations of one member have gone up. The aspirations of the other member for one segment has gone up, the other segment still remains there. So I think people are wanting to buy more, spend more.
So does this mean that the festive season will lose its relevance? Will Diwali shopping become history in the coming future?
I would not say it would lose significance in the coming days, but definitely, see, there are two aspects. One aspect is there are more sales seasons being created these days, because the retail format is also evolving in India. The modern retail format is also taking over the markets, the major markets, and further they will penetrate to the other cities. So competition even on the retail side is growing, and therefore a lot of stimulus is being given during the other part of year also. So sales would definitely spread in the coming time, but on the other hand there is a major growth also being witnessed by India. So definitely there will be a flatter trend when it comes to the seasonality, but the major part, the major part of the sales will definitely continue to happen during the festival season.
And even Pinaki Rajan Mishra, the head of retail practice at Ernst & Young, feels so.
I think sports events and festive seasons will always be triggers for products like a television, for example. That would remain. You can't change that, because that's the way the country thinks. That's the way people, it's the way, it's the mood of the people, and we have seen it in the past, even before we had all this retail boom and everything else.
There is no doubt that the Indian consumer is buying like never before. In the next 15 years, the aggregate consumer spend is likely to grow to a whopping $70 trillion. And Nagesh believes that in the next few years, the retail industry can see an inflection point.
People who are born in the 1990s, first of all, they've never seen any problems in life. They're all in the age group of 17, 18, 19. They've got modern education. They have seen world around them growing. Give 3 to 4 years time, they're all going to come into working. Okay, and 23, 24, 25, they're not yet married. They've got money in hand, staying with their parents. They don't have to buy a new fridge, a new car, a new scooter. They're going to blow the money. So to me, for modern retail and for Indian retail and consumption, somewhere around 2013, 14, 15, I see a huge inflection. So if the graph is going like this, I expect the graph will go like this.
So discounts, new launches and special schemes are here to stay. And while Diwali shopping might become a little dull, there is no doubt that the Great Indian Shopping Carnival is all ready to roll through the year. Happy shopping for people like Naina, and happy profits for the many companies banking on her.